What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got a little news to talk about Blade related, and it's not so much news into the future, although we can speculate, and I will speculate in this video. It's actually when this game first started happening, when they first started developing the game, and this is definitely good to know, right? If you just go based off of the Game Awards speech and, letting them cook and all this jazz, fine, I will proudly step aside and, let you do whatever you need to do, but it doesn't give you much info on, well, they just started a month ago. Normally, you don't do that, right? Even when you have next to nothing and you show up at the Game Awards, maybe you've been working on it for 3 months, 5 months, whatever. Well, turns out Blade is actually approaching year 2 full years of some sort of development. Now, we're going to talk about that in the video, but first, let's go over how we know this. So, this comes from Idle Sloth, but it was actually a user on Twitter called Beth Wilder, and what this basically is the campaign director for the game, for Marvel's Blade, Dana Nightingale. It's a great last name. And you could actually look at, the history of what this person does. And from January 2022 to the present time, they were the director of level design team and principal designer of the campaign on Marvel's Blade. And that's all you really need to know. That is the information part of this video. Now it's the speculation part. So, okay, 2 years. They've been working on this thing for 2 years. Now, what's important to remember is there's a difference between like pre-production and also just like actual full-on production, right? Games normally have some sort of pre-production to it, and that can range. Sometimes it can take a year. Sometimes it could take 6 months. Sometimes it could take 2 or 3 years. That's more rare, I think, a game taking that long to get from pre-production to just like full-on, okay, we're going for it, right? Normally, it is in that maybe 6 month to a year and a half kind of range. So I guess what I'm getting at here, I would imagine this game is not in pre-production. It's in full scale, right? Everybody's, on it. The concept, the basic understanding of this game is already, figured out. That's what you do in pre-production. And now they're going forward and actually doing the game, okay? Now, that means, in my opinion, the game... Well, I would say this, and be very careful with how I'm saying it. I got to be very careful with how I'm saying it. I think this game is closer than we thought it was going to be, okay? It's closer than you think, but it's not that close because I still think this is easily a game that doesn't come out until, 2026, and that's if you're praying to every god you know. Like, every night you're staying up, next to your bed and you're praying hard. That's what would get you to 2026. Honestly, I think this is a 2027 or even 2028. I would actually, stick on that. Now, you could say, okay, well, 2028. And if it comes out like anytime past January of 2028, well, that's 6 years. That is, I would say, slightly longer than average, right? What we've seen in the gaming industry, about 5, right? Some people can do it in 4. Remedy's actually a good example. Remedy can crank these games out in 3.5 to 4 years. They're kind of wizards, and they're not even that big. They're wizards at doing it. So, could it be 4 years? Could you actually get this thing in mid-2026, which is only 2.5 years away? Not that long when you think about it. Yeah, I think that's possible. But honestly, and I guess that's why I would say, because a few days ago, or when this thing was announced, I think 2028 is if you're lucky. You're almost praying hard to get to 2028, right? Which is like the next generation of consoles is the fall of 2028. So you're thinking, okay, well, this game might be like a cross kind of thing. Could come out on both. So that's what I was thinking. Then when I see this, it's like, okay, well, honestly, I thought they had started within the last year. I would have given them like 1 year of developing this game so far. Turns out it's 2. So then that's an entire year, which means an entire, I would say, 1 year less that you have to wait for. So, I joke around, with the praying stuff, but 2026, I think, is possible. I would still say it's kind of unlikely. 2027 honestly seems right about right. Like, it could actually happen to be 2027, which if you would have told me that a week ago, I would have said, that's great because I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting 2028. So, bottom line is, you're still going to have to wait a while. It is still what I said before, like, this is the Mass Effect game, or the Wolf Among Us, or the Dragon Age, or the whatever. It's that game that's shown at the Game Awards that generally has not been in the works for all that long, and you're going to have to wait 3 to 6 years before they get... This is this year's version of that. Jurassic Park maybe even is another one of those games that this, is this year's version, just like Mass Effect was, just like Wolf Among Us, etc., right? That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So I wouldn't expect anything. Like, imagine they take 2 years off. I don't think you see anything from Blade. Maybe you see it in early 2026 because you think 2 years from now is, very, very late 2025. Maybe the Game Awards 2 years from now. Or maybe they just do their own thing 2 years in February or whatever, right? We still got some more waiting to do, though. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.